Welcome to the Non-Essential Podcast. I'm Steve Gibson.
I'm Ben Matlock.
And we're here.
Yo, what's up?
Yep.
Sup, fools?
I'm excited because it's your turn this week.
I could do the usual song and dance of like, oh, work has been really stressful and I've been so tired. And all that's always true. That is always true every week. But this week I just wanted to play Elden Ring, so I didn't do shit for the show. Creepypasta week, you're welcome.
We should have just like done an Elden Ring episode and been like, we're a video game podcast for...
Yeah, if any year there's a new From Software game, this turns into a video game show.
For just one episode or two or however long it takes us to get through the games.
Just mention the title and we will talk about fucking From Software games forever. It was the only thing keeping us doing a video game podcast for like the last year. We were doing it.
True.
But we don't do that anymore. We do this show. And on this show we tell each other stories and they can be whatever. And I push that pretty much every other week now, by taking other people's stories from the internet.
It works.
Yeah, well, the internet's the last frontier of plagiarism. So
it's not plagiarism if they're designed to be shared.
That's true. I don't know if these are all designed to be shared, but this is by a user named Alexisaac or Alexisaac. I don't know. You gotta.
I like Alexisaac because to me, I could see somebody coming up with that name like it sounds bad, but you can't say it in a way that sounds badass because it doesn't. Well,
it's AACS, so it's just axe.
Axe. Yeah. It's Alexis as he falls off a cliff, right? Or she, Alexis, because I guess it's a either way name, but ack.
And this story is called "I Have Thin Walls," and if that sounds familiar, don't tell anyone. Maybe we did it before, but that can be our little secret. Why do I always tell myself I'll be in bed by midnight, and then before I know it, it's 3 a.m. and before I know, wow, already starting off great.
Strong start.
Dude, this isn't me, I swear. And then before I know it, okay, you just needed a comma. And then before I know it, 3 a.m. has come and gone. You never notice how tired you are until you look away from the computer screen and look at the clock. Tonight was no different. It was 3:14 when I checked the time on my phone. I had been watching TV shows for the last 4 hours. My walls are thin, so I use headphones after 10 p.m. Well, if you've ever worn headphones for a while, you know how uncomfortable your ears become. When you take them off, it's a very special feeling, a very enjoyable one. Again, tonight was, the simple pleasures.
I've got so many thoughts running through my head, but I get it. It does hurt after a while, but I was just thinking how appropriate this intro is given the game we were just talking about.
Yeah, like I said, all I've wanted to do for the last week is just play Elden Ring. So I've been to work and I've played Elden Ring.
I've been making myself not play it after Lincoln goes to bed because this will happen. Like I know I'll sit down and it'll play till like 2 and then I'm too old. That'll kill me.
And then she can play a copy with you. She'll probably be better at it than us. All right. Again, tonight was no different. I decided it was time to finally sleep and stop the video player on my computer. I heard voices. It was these goddamn thin walls. Seriously, every night I would hear my neighbors talking. Sometimes I would even hear them having sex, which is... If you haven't had that experience where you get to hear your neighbor fuck, let me tell you, it's awesome. At my old house, my neighbor used to like leave his window open when he would bring chicks home from the bar, and they were really loud every time. And part of me wanted part of me was like, yeah, good job, dude, and shut my window and turn up my TV because I don't want to hear it all night. And then another part of me wanted to shout from like my window to his, like, she's lying to you. You're not that good.
Yeah, that would have been the path to take.
They start work at 4 a.m., so they're up by 2 a.m., going about their business. I hate the muffled voices. I'm a pretty light sleeper. The really annoying part is never being able to distinguish what is being said. There are actually studies that show that quiet but indistinguishable speech is more distracting than louder but clear speech. So this is kind of like the creepypasta I did a few months back.
Yeah.
Except this is probably more interesting. Because I
was just thinking, this is what all you assholes that can hear stuff get to deal with. I'm deaf. Like, I've talked about it before. When I say it, I always qualify that I'm not like trying to downplay people that are deaf. I actually have like 80% hearing loss on one side. And so I just lay on my good side and problem solved.
Yeah. You can't actually hear me doing this. You just see the Discord icon blinking when I talk, and you try to read that.
If I study the micro flashes, I can interpret. That would be pretty cool.
It's like visual Morse code. You're just saying beep, 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 beep. And it's like, oh, he did a fart joke. Every night I'd hear them talk and talk and talk, and it was all muffled. Tonight was no different. I heard their damned muffled voices through the headphones even. I was definitely going to have to talk with them tomorrow. If they don't want me blasting music during the day when they sleep, they're going to have to shut up at night when I sleep. I seriously considered sleeping with the headphones on to drown out some of that noise. But like I said, your ears become uncomfortable. With this particular set, my ears become sweaty, red, and sore. Yeah, they're not the best pair. I dreaded taking them off and trying to fall asleep. I figured I'd take some diphenhydramine. Is that?
Oh, of course. You don't know what diphenhydramine is?
I don't. Because as much as I struggle with sleeping, I never take anything for it.
I'm pretty... This is a sidetrack episode this week. They all are. I've always just like shied away from sleep stuff because I feel like even though everything's like, oh, none of it's physically addictive, like I feel like I would very much develop that mental dependency on it.
Yeah, I think I've taken melatonin a few times, and you do sleep through the night, but the few times I've done it, it's not. I have weird dreams, and I don't feel rested, really. Like, it's kind of an in and out sleep, I guess.
I've done the melatonin gummies. I didn't have that. But I have weird dreams regardless, and I kind of revel in them. It's one of my favorite things is my...
I have weird dreams anyway, but they're more special when they're not, like, drug-induced.
Now, I will say with this COVID now...
Cool vid.
Yeah, the cool vid. Tylenol, cold and flu I've been taking, and the packs that we get, they have like daytime pills and nighttime pills. Yeah. And so I have been taking the nighttime ones for the cold and flu part.
I want the old school NyQuil. I pour it into a shot glass and drop it into a Guinness and call it a nuclear car bomb.
I like that, the liquid NyQuil or the Tylenol's version.
I like anything that gets you real fucked when you don't feel good.
But Tara absolutely hates that liquid, so she won't take it. So we've been using the pill stuff. But the Tylenol, cold and flu, the nighttime pills, they fucking knock me out.
You get the stuff that fucking you crush up and snort. Okay, where was I? I'm just thinking about drugs now.
Drugs, yeah.
Okay. I seriously considered sleeping with the headphones on to drown out some of that noise, but like I said, your ears become uncomfortable. With this particular set, my ears became sweaty, red, and sore. Yeah, they're not the best pair. I dreaded taking them off and trying to fall asleep. I figured I'd take some diphenhydramine to sleep through this tonight. Oh well, may as well get on with it. I took off the headphones and started to get up to get the meds and some water. That's when I noticed my neighbors stopped talking. It was actually completely silent. I figured maybe they left for work. After all, it was 3:20 now. I was ecstatic. I hated taking meds to sleep. I grabbed some water and laid back down in bed. I was about to shut off my computer when I heard them talking again. Much quieter this time, but there was no doubt about it. I heard what was definitely people talking. This was really aggravating. I got up again to grab the meds, and as I walked over to my medicine cabinet, they stopped talking once more. Whatever, I figured I'd take some anyway. The whole situation made me far too riled up to sleep peacefully anyway. As I walked back towards my bed, I listened carefully to see if those assholes would start chit-chatting again. Like clockwork, they did. The closer I got to my bed, the louder they got. Made sense, since the wall my bed was near was the wall I shared with them. So move your bed, dude.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, if it's just you're that tired and that sick of it, sleep in your fucking bathtub. Like, maybe not every night, but tonight, like...
That's a little sad. You're renting an apartment just to, like, sleep in your fucking bathtub?
You call it sad, I call it tornado savvy. Like, everybody else will have to wake up when the sirens go off, and you'll be like, I'm here already.
And the tornado comes just enough to scoop you out of your bathroom. The rest of your apartment's fine.
As your tub flies away, you're just like, at least they're not talking.
My meds haven't kicked in. Made sense since the wall my bed was close to the wall that I shared with them. I grabbed my laptop to finally turn it off and unplug the headphones. The talking ceased. It was a really painful and horrible realization at that moment. Tonight was not like every other night. It was Sunday, and they don't work on Sundays. I know because I always have a good night's rest on these days. My neighbors were sound asleep next door. I looked through my computer for an open browser window or something. I figured I left a video up. There was nothing. Every program was closed. I was freaking out a bit, but decided it was just a weird coincidence to be sure. To be sure, I plugged my headphones back in. I immediately dropped my laptop. I heard people talking, ever so faintly, and the sounds were clearly coming from my headphones. Wide-eyed, I picked up my computer and frantically searched for the cause. I figured it was a virus. I opened my task manager to find the responsible program.
Yeah, so he takes the intelligent route, because that's what I wouldn't necessarily assume virus, but there's all sorts of glitches like that where audio can keep playing in the background when a tab's been closed. But yeah. So he has a sensible reaction after dropping his fucking laptop for some reason. Like, is it that shocking that you still hear the talking that you're like, yeah. Oh, yeah, wait, it's probably like...
Because I assume every virus is the force of hell coming for me.
Which it is.
Yeah. I spend a lot of time on the dark web trying to get drugs, if you can't tell.
Unsuccessfully.
Unsuccessfully. And I always think the jig is up. Yet nothing was amiss. My heart was racing, but curiosity got the better of me. I picked up my headphones and put them on. I wanted to scream because the entire night, those muffled voices were coming from my headphones and not from my neighbors. I tried to make out what was being said, but I couldn't. That's when my screen flickered. My browser opened and redirected itself to a website. At least, I think it was a website. The address bar was blank, and when I tried clicking on it, nothing happened. As the website loaded, the voices became more clear. I heard multiple people talking. There were definitely more than two voices. He doesn't know yet, one said. He will in a little bit. Give it time, said another. I think he is catching on.
Wait. Yeah. Is this all one big crypto commercial?
Yeah, it's Matt Damon talking to Matt Damon. I think he's a pussy. No, he's not a pussy. He'll buy Euphoria coin. I think he's catching on. He'll have no choice but to join us. Curiosity always gets the better of humans. The palms of my hands were dripping in sweat, shaking and uncontrollable. The rest of me was frozen in fear. Now. Start it now. That's when the screen flickered, a video began, and I almost screamed. Staring back at me was a face. A face at first I thought was my own. But no, it wasn't mine. It was somebody else's. Why would you assume it's yours?
Wait. I'm not an 80-year-old Asian man from Nepal. Woo,
oh God, I thought it was a handsome devil for a second. But no, it wasn't mine. It was somebody else's. "We see you," said one of the voices. I didn't know what to do at this point. "We see you. You can respond." Are you talking to me right now? Not the brightest bulb. I responded as I was trembling, barely able to put together a coherent sentence. "Yes, we see you and you see him. And when he realizes he hears us all, we will all see him, and he will see someone else. Do you understand now?" Absolutely not. I have no fucking idea what you just said. That's my dialogue.
I was curious because that's the exact correct dialogue.
I was like, "We see you and we all see for ice see." I didn't know what to say. I wanted to scream, to run, to cry. I muttered quietly, I look at him. What do you see?" One of the voices asked. "I see him, I guess. What the fuck? You just... we all see each other.
With my little eye."
The Beatles sang about this. I am his and you are his and we all see together. "I see his face," I responded. He's staring at something. It looks like he's staring right at me. "Can he see me?" "No." What the fuck?
You just said that.
You said he saw. That's not, what the fuck? "We see you and you see him, and when he realizes he hears us all, we will all see him and he will see someone." Okay. So I guess it's true. It took me a while to parse that fucking equation.
I'm still working on it over here. But...
Okay, so the voices see the protagonist.
Okay.
The
protagonist sees.
And when the guy in the screen realizes he hears everyone will see him, but he will see someone else.
Okay.
You follow?
So I follow the setup, but I don't follow the consequence.
Fuck all. Far as the consequence. But he can hear the protagonist, but he can't see him yet.
And in my mind, at this point, if I'm the protagonist, that makes very little difference. I mean, it is creepier if somebody can suddenly see you. There's a reason that I actually keep a piece of tape over the built-in webcam on my laptop here. But
I keep it on, and I only turn my face to it when I go to certain websites.
Given that this was like one step above like hey, somebody hacked my webcam, I don't know how much different. I don't think it would ease my mind that he can't see me.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't. Apparently, he never sees anyone in this. At the end, he'll see someone else. So, like you said, what's the problem? He can hear me? I asked. Yes, said the voice, but he does not know he can hear you yet. What? The person was wearing headphones like I was. I could only assume they too thought nothing of random muffled voices. Maybe they also had thin walls. Maybe they were listening to something else and didn't notice that strange ambient sound. Maybe he didn't have his volume all the way up like I had. Maybe he was far too engrossed in whatever it was that he was reading. I don't know. "We can't see him yet," said one of the voices. "We can only see you. Can you tell us when he finally realizes where the voices are coming from?" He doesn't know yet, I said. He will, in a little bit. Give it time, said one of the voices. I think he is catching on, said another. The end.
I see. So it just keeps going and going.
Yeah.
But they didn't necessarily establish that you're trapped in it. Like, could you just fuck with people for a while?
That's just an expanding chat room.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, that was funny. I'm going to bed. See you. Yeah. Talk to you all later.
And like I said, certain circles of the darknet, this isn't supernatural. This is just shit they get up to on a weekend.
Well, from what I understand, it's like a game developer Discord channel.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the twist there.
I liked it, and I liked that it was almost like an amalgamation of like 3 or 4 other stories that, including the one that you wrote, that we've done before.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like almost more spiritually, like it didn't feel derivative of any of them, but it just kind of recalled a couple different.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think now I'm trying to sound like I'm on Masterpiece Theater or something, but my point is, I liked it.
Like we haven't done too many of these creepypastas about like internet shit, which is funny because these were all sparked by internet horror stories. That always like took place on message boards and stuff. Like that was the origin of creepypastas to begin with. But a lot of them are pretty rough. And so like this one was a little bit more subtle. It didn't get bogged down in like, you know, okay, I'll make another post tomorrow to let you know what this ghost is up to, guys.
Yeah, and I do appreciate, too, that it kind of just got to it. It didn't have the, like, well, and I was mad that I was being kept up because I work as a janitor and I have to clean the school and the kids are the, you know, it didn't, like, launch into all that.
Yeah.
Like, and again, that we've both admitted that we're guilty of, too, when we write. Sometimes that's one of the harder things not to do. You're trying to paint this, like, exact picture of what's in your head.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it didn't do that.
Yeah, like this one has all the basic elements you need to do the story, and I think I appreciate that. Anytime a story doesn't get too bogged down in like extra fat, that just like, you know, I like reading these, but sometimes we have ones where it's just like, holy shit, that's 5 paragraphs that did not need to be at all. But like you said, it's one of the hardest things about writing these is editing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I still
trying to figure out what's important and what's not.
Yeah, and I've always been like, I shit on people for it, but I am the worst offender about it because I never edit. Like,
I was going to say that's one of the keys there, though. So the good writers do that because they're on their like 10th revision of the same story. They go through and they cut stuff, and then they cut stuff, and they cut. If you're like me, I write a story. I maybe read through it a couple times for grammar and spelling and that stuff, and I still miss it because I suck at it. And you'll read through it a couple times for like, just to get a sort of the plot, but I don't put that like effort in.
Well, it's why it's a profession. It's why there are people who are professionally editors, because they can look at something from an outside perspective and be like, that doesn't need to be in there.
And it's also why
it's a skill.
We'll point this out on these creepypastas. It's one of the things that you tend to see a lot on creepypastas, but the whole spirit of these stories, and we don't know if it's true, some of these people may have spent a very long time trying to write their story. In general, these stories are written pretty loosely, pretty quickly.
Yeah, and, I don't want, like, there's some ongoing ones that were like multi-parters, but a lot of these I think are obviously like, you know, you probably hammered out in like a weekend or so.
Like I said, I'm sure they got some editing, but they weren't like, I'm submitting this to, you know, the publisher, which is why when we point stuff out and
it's all...
we always say we're not saying that it's bad writing or bad writer. We're pointing it out because we think it's whatever. But I don't know why I'm even qualifying this, because we didn't really have a lot of that to point out with this story.
I had one problem, and it was at the beginning. He needed a comma.
A comma. It's funny because, and I talk to so many people that are like, oh, you know, the school was stupid and all those rules are stupid. People, you know, you have these rules, but people can understand you anyway. It's like a lot of times, those little marks are extremely important.
I don't even know if technically that needed a comma there. It was just kind of an awkward...
Visually,
it needed a pause. And that, I would have put 5 commas there to be sure.
And the phraseology there about he sees, I see, we see, whatever, that was a little confusing, but if we hadn't kept laughing at it and stopping about it, we get to the end, it kind of cleared that up anyway.
Well, once the show's over, I'm going to get like a notepad and a pen and really
diagram it.
Yeah, really try to figure out what the fuck they meant.
No, like I said, by the end you get it, and that's probably kind of what it was meant. It's probably meant to be kind of ambiguous, and then you have that moment. But we're assholes, and we stop and go, "What the fuck did you say?" Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not fun to like. I can't just write down jokes and save them all till the end of the story. These episodes wouldn't work.
No.
But yeah, they're like I said, like we always say with these ones, it's not a critique on any of the people as writers. It is always having fun at the absurd fucking realities of writing, which is, you know, we all over pad shit. We all put in you know, probably stuff that doesn't need to be. And we all have sentences where like you read it in your head a million times and it sounds fine. And the moment somebody else looks at it, it's like, that's not even fucking English. That's hieroglyphics. What the hell?
And hopefully we all change the name of one of your main characters midway through the story.
Yeah.
That's the thing too.
We anything we give people shit for, we'll top in our Halloween specials.
I had forgotten about that too until just now. We're pointing out.
I forgot it too. I'm so glad you remembered that, because that was the fucking weirdest thing.
And I didn't even reading it. I didn't register in my brain. But you're over there like, who the fuck are you talking about now?
That's just because imagine you like filmed like half a movie. and then just a new best friend was there with the cast.
Well, it's like one of those situations where one of the actors gets in some trouble midway through filming and you have to replace them. But then the director's like, but we can't just reshoot the whole thing and we can't just say it's the same person. So we'll just call him something different, but everybody just accepts it as what it is. And the audience will just have to get it.
Because we're out of budget. So you're going to have to just take this. Anywho, I'm fine calling this a shorter one.
Yeah. So
I got busy work to do. Thank you all for listening.
See, there we go. I was going to say, if I keep it up too much longer, my lungs will give out on me. And I need my lungs. I like them.
Yeah, well, you only need one, right? It's like at
a minimum, yeah. It's not like I'm going to be a professional athlete anytime soon.
Yeah. I mean, you're already struggling to go up the stairs with 2. So,
anyway,
thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with another story about another thing.
Or you might just hear us in the background playing video games. And
it's your week next week, so I'll definitely not be paying attention for at least.
I'll be halfway through my story and I'll hear, take that, you son of a bitch. That's and I'll really be like, what did I do?
That's really when we'll stop the show. We'll have to, is when you can just tell. I'm just like, yeah. Yeah. All right. God damn. Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah. Okay. See y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.